World health experts said today the Ebola outbreak in West Africa is out of control. And the head of the World Health Organization warned of what she called catastrophic consequences if it continues to deteriorate.
And we begin here again tonight with the spread of this Ebola virus. It's devastating in the countries where it's breaking out. And of course, it can travel by air right along with an infected passenger. We learned today the first American to die in this Ebola outbreak was a diplomat, a man who flew while sick from Liberia to Nigeria. The disease is now officially out of control, and because of fear and people fleeing, the security situation in Western Africa is now dangerous.
The disease is spreading, civil unrest is growing.
When the disease progresses, people get afraid.
For the first time in history, doctors right here in the United States will battle the Ebola virus.
The CDC will also be sending 50 disease detectives to Western Africa, where the death toll has soared to more than 700. In Liberia, empty streets on the capital. The military deployed as panic rises. Disinfectant sprayed in public places. Hand washing stations up outside supermarkets.
2 Americans are set to come home from Liberia in the midst of the Ebola outbreak, and they will become the first cases treated here in the United States. As Marcy Gonzalez reports, the missionaries will be coming home one at a time.
Today, this hospital in Atlanta preparing to treat the first Ebola patient ever in the U.S. One of the 2 Americans infected with the deadly virus in Liberia now expected to head here to Emory University Hospital. Now in West Africa, where more than 700 people have already died from the virus, extra efforts are underway to stop the spread of Ebola. The CDC issuing a travel advisory, warning against non-essential travel to Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. Travelers at airports there being screened for potential illness.
People are scared. Why should America let people back in who have Ebola?
Centers for Disease Control has designated El Paso as one of 20 quarantine stations for the Ebola virus. The Sun City is part of a comprehensive system designed to prevent the spread of the disease in the U.S.
The biggest concern is at airports with international flights and ports of entry, which we have a lot of here in the borderland.
It's a scary virus, definitely.
Dr. Hector Ocaranza is the El Paso City County Health Authority, and he called Ebola, which has no cure, one of the most frightening viruses out there. This map shows the 20 quarantine stations designated across the country.
This health crisis we face is unparalleled in modern times. You start to get a sense of the rapid escalation now we're seeing of the virus.
The outbreak in last month has doubled in size.
The worst Ebola epidemic on record had claimed at least 3,439 lives, with the total rising daily.
We turn now to Dallas and that case of Ebola here in the U.S. and word this evening that at least 50 Americans are now being monitored. Their temperature taken twice a day. Hazmat crews on the scene suiting up. And look at that home there. As the camera pulls out tonight, you'll be able to see around that dense apartment complex. Homes really as far as the eye can see, a packed neighborhood there. The CDC now going door to door.
Drama at Newark Liberty International Airport, an emergency scene when a plane landed and a sick passenger with Ebola-like symptoms was rushed to the hospital. He does not have it, but air travelers are on edge.
That scare comes from people here truly worried, a nation on edge, and that this fear is the new normal. This morning, fears on flights running high after this scare in the air at Newark Airport. An airline passenger showing signs of Ebola mid-flight.
We knew something was really wrong with when they said the CDC was here.
One passenger snapping this photo as Homeland Security entered the cabin.
It may be the new norm when somebody shows signs of an illness that could be consonant with Ebola.
And we are tracking the concerns about another deadly risk, enterovirus. It has spread from 12 to 42 states in just 3 weeks.
A mysterious respiratory disease known as enterovirus D68, afflicting children in 43 states right now.
That virus is spreading quickly, and health officials say it could get worse. This as it has officially now claimed its first victim.
This virus is basically everywhere. They've tested it now in 40 states, and they're only doing random testing, so you have to assume this is now epidemic. But it does seem to be a virus that we haven't seen here in the U.S. before in this kind of an outbreak, and it's a virus that's only recently been identified.
So we have the Ebola virus in Africa, and we now have this virus. What's going on?
Well, the world is flat. We don't know exactly why there was a dramatic spread this year, but something is happening now. We have multiple viruses, and together with global climate change, things are changing in the virus world, and we have to pay attention.
My name's Bill Dell, and I want to talk to you about something very serious. We've got some serious health scares going on in this country. People are terrified about Ebola. It's also flu and virus season. We've actually had a couple of children already die from the flu. There's some nasty strains out there. So the big thing is, what can we do to protect ourselves other than being in isolation? Well, the most important thing that you can do is to build your body's immune system. I came across a great product called GSH Complex. And what GSH Complex does is that it activates the glutathione in your body. Glutathione is our body's own natural antioxidant. It's the most powerful one that you can have. This doesn't just absorb into your system, but what a precursor does is it helps your body to actually create it. What that does is it builds your immune system so that it protects you from catching viruses and infections. This is very important to you and to your family's health. Let's protect ourselves and let's get through this crisis.